What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is The Flash Season 2, Episode 13. Welcome to Earth-2. This was such a fun, awesome episode. And something that the show can do because of just how crazy the concept is. I think I may have talked about this before, but because the concept of the Flash, this guy who can run faster than, about the speed of light almost. This concept is kind of out there and weird. And the fact that they take full advantage of that and don't try to take it too seriously means we can have fun episodes like this where they travel to another dimension and then we meet all of the characters that we know. Caitlin and Ronnie are both bad guys, both metahuman bad guys. Cisco is a metahuman bad guy. Pretty much the same powers that Cisco has, but he's evil. You've got Joe, who instead of a detective, he's the singer at, instead of Co-Jitters, it's Jitterbug. Iris is married to Barry, and they're both working. Iris is a detective, Barry is still a CSI. Deadshot Floyd Lawton is Iris's partner and is a terrible shot. Captain David Singh is a villain. What was the? I think there was like one more that they had. Crap, I can't remember who it was now. Oh, the guy that was at first going to become Firestorm with Martin Stein instead of Jax, Henry Hewitt. He's working at S.T.A.R Labs and he comes in. He's very goofy. He's just like, Harrison Wells, nice to see you again. How are you doing today, sir? I'm just like, what is this? It was so funny, and it was just a lot of fun to watch. It had me laughing. I was loving every minute of it. It was really, really good. And honestly, the story behind this is really good too. You've got they come over through the breach to Earth-2, thinking, okay, we're gonna help Jesse. We're gonna stop Zoom here, and we're gonna get this done. But Barry trying, they find out Cisco's vibe powers don't work because of the frequency is different on this Earth than it is on the other Earth. So they're having trouble there. So Barry decides, since this world's Barry is a CSI, he's just going to take his spot. And I kind of figured this is where they were going, and they did it very well, though. So even though it was kind of predictable, it was predictable in a fun way. He gets there, and it's not at all what he was expecting. Obviously, since he and Iris are married, he doesn't see that coming. He and Joe don't get along at all because Joe blames him for Iris being right, in the middle of it. And he starts to realize things are a lot different. And so it's just fun to see him sort of figure that out slowly and start to realize, okay, so I need to be careful right now. But the story ends up becoming, as Barry is trying to figure out information about Zoom while working with Iris, he realizes, Caitlin and Ronnie bust in as Killer Frost and Deathstorm to Jitterbug. End up killing Joe in the process, but that becomes kind of the story for them, is trying to stop Killer Frost and Deathstorm. And that ends up ending with Zoom shows up. They're supposed to be working for him, but Reverb, or Cisco's doppelganger, he thinks that he is more powerful than Zoom, so he decides, I don't care what he says. He and Ronnie are just blasting the crap out of Barry, and Zoom shows up, kills Ronnie, and then says, looks Cisco's doppelganger in the face. It's just like, what did I tell you about a speedster? What should you do? It's like, leave him unharmed? Does that look unharmed to you? And then stabs, uses his little hand, stabs him through the heart, and just keeps stabbing him with his speed hands. I'm just like, oh, wow. That hurts. And so, leaves Killer Frost alive because she's the only one. Like, whenever they were blasting Barry, she's like, no, stop, you know what Zoom said. So he leaves her alive because she was actually trying to follow his orders. But he ends up taking Barry to the prison. And so now that's the whole Jesse reason that they're over there is now going to be for part 2. So it was just really good, and really, I'm glad that they didn't just go over and spend these whole 2 episodes, at least I think it's 2, the episodes that they are on Earth-2, they didn't spend those episodes just completely looking for Jesse. They did have some other storylines thrown in, so that these 2 episodes didn't feel like it was being stretched out way too long. We actually have something in this episode to enjoy. And then on top of that, you go back to Earth-1, this metahuman, Adam Fells, I think. He's a metahuman who apparently can create earthquakes. He's causing terror and wants to take on the Flash, who is not available, of course. And so we finally find out, Joe suggests, hey, Jay, why don't you take the Velocity 6 stuff? You can get your speed back, at least for a little bit, and then help him. We finally find out that the reason he didn't want to take Velocity 6, which I'm still suspicious, because why didn't you tell us this before? It feels like he's hiding a lot of this stuff, and I'm just like, why are you hiding it? Like, if you just told us all this from the get-go, I would trust you so much more right now. But the fact that you've hidden why you don't want to take Velocity 6, the fact that you lost your speed because of Velocity 6, the fact that Velocity 6 is killing you, you didn't tell us any of that. All you did was just say, don't let Barry take it. Just like, why? Tell us why. And now we finally find out why, and it's a good reason, but I still don't necessarily understand why he didn't tell us before. And honestly, I don't like Jay Garrick. I don't know why. Like, he seems like too much of a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean. If you watch shows, there's some people that are made out to be such a good person that whenever they turn out to be a bad person, it's like, I saw that coming, because it was the opposite. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it still, but I find it weird that he didn't tell us anything about how Velocity 6 is what made him sick. Because there doesn't seem to be a good reason not to tell him. So, but he ends up working with Caitlin. She makes a new serum called the Velocity 7, and gives it to him, which does give his speed back, and things seem to be looking okay. And then all of a sudden it wears off. So now they're going to try to make it where, hopefully this stuff can stay a part of, or keep his speed for longer, or something along those lines. But ultimately that story kind of ends without an ending as well, because one, the breach, or the thing that was keeping the breach open, is still broken, so they still have to fix that. And two, the earthquake guy, whatever he calls himself, he's still out and about. So maybe they'll have to deal with him, maybe not, I don't know. But the fact that the breach isn't open, the fact that the machine is broken, is going to be a big deal for the next episode. But yeah, it was a good episode, really enjoyable, really fun to watch, and just such a good idea to have all of these characters. I remembered the one that was really funny, talking about Mayor Snart. I don't know if that is Captain Cold or if that's his sister. Either way, though, it does bring up a lot of questions as far as Legends of Tomorrow, because Rip Hunter took Leonard Snart from Earth-1. Does that have any effect on Earth-2, his traveling through time in Earth-1? Like, time travel and dimension jumping, you put those two things together and all of a sudden your brain just sort of fries, because it's like, what does that all mean? Anyway, just something to think about. But those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, leave out spoilers until I get caught up, and leave a like and subscribe for more of The Flash. I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.